Hello everyone, welcome to another classic guitar video. Tonight's show is brought to you by Guitar Center of Glendora. Please check them out, they're really great. Tonight we're going to finish part 2 of the Peavey guitar. It's a really cool piece. It's a Peavey Rockmaster in satin black. I was waiting for parts for it and they've come in. So that's why there's been a really long delay with finishing it. So hopefully I'm going to finish it tonight. I'm pretty sure I have to polish the saddles, install the new truss rod cover, reassemble the tremolo system, re-satin finish the body, satin finish the electronics cover and the back tremolo cavity cover, and touch up some of the nicks in it with some flat black paint. Then it should be done. Put new strings on it, of course. I have some Ernie Ball Super Slinky 9s I'm going to put on it. And so let's just go ahead and get right started on it. And there it is. There it is in all its glory, or lack thereof, as some people might say. I don't know. But yeah, at any rate, there it is. Pretty cool piece. So at last we left it. I polished the frets and fretboard, cleaned the headstock. I have not polished the tuners or anything like that yet. We stopped at polishing the tremolo bass, and then I already wire wheeled the intonation screws, and I have to polish the saddles. I'll do that right now. I believe is pretty much the next thing to do on the list. Let me double check. I think so, yeah. I wire wheeled all the other screws, tops of the screws. Everything is clean and good again. So that being said, I will get my polish rag and my polish rag itself, and then we'll just start polishing these saddles, back in the saddle again, so to speak. Yeah, we'll find a good spot. Other than that, quite a bit going on. I almost said not a lot going on. There's actually quite a bit going on. I did a lot of toy stuff for Klasic collectibles, some Star Wars stuff. And I have a convention that I'm going to, that I just came back from in Tennessee. It was the summertime NAMM show in Tennessee, so that's pretty cool. I've been watching a lot of that, so I'm doing a lot of that. So that being said, we will just go ahead and start with doing these saddles, packing the saddle again, as it were, so to speak. Yeah, so again, just did that. Summer NAMM. Pretty cool. Regular NAMM show is here locally in Los Angeles. Usually at the Los Angeles Convention Center. And so I did do that one, of course. And so other than that, I just did that. I've been working, selling a lot of guitars. I sold quite a few guitars during summer NAMM. Holy mackerel. I couldn't keep up fast enough, and I still have people that want guitars. Specifically from... Whoops. Ooh, merciful. Specifically from NAMM connections. So I'm pretty happy with that aspect. I'm ecstatic with that aspect. It's a tongue twister. And ecstatic with that. I can't even say it again. Ecstatic with that. Well, you know what I mean. I'm ecstatic. What can I say? Whoa, she's mad. Whoa, she is madder than a hatter. Madder than a hatter. So yeah, I've been selling a lot of hollow bodies and semi-hollow body guitars lately. Holy mackerel, I can't keep up with. Sometimes things come in spurts. People will want just Strats or Stratocasters, or some people want just Telecasters, or some people will just want, this or that. I can hardly keep up with people who want hollow bodies, semi-hollow bodies, and basses right now. I sold like 3 basses. It's like I can't keep up with bass. People who want basses, and I got a bunch of bass projects sitting here. God, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 bass projects sitting here. Need to be done. It's like, oh man. But now that I have the parts for those, I can go forthwith on doing those bass projects. And sold 1 bass to a nice young lady. So she really liked this bass, and she really liked this bass because this bass was brand new. So what's not to like about a brand new bass? Brand new. It still had the protective plastic on the covers. Really nice Ibanez PJ bass, and for $180, $180, yeah. And she sat and she played it, and she was just like, within 30 seconds, she was just like, I want it. And you know what? She looked to be maybe 18 or just above 18. She might have been younger than that. I typically don't like to sell to youngins because then I will have an angry parent pounding on my front door going, you sold my son this, or you sold my daughter this without permission. And I'm like, whoa. So I do have a disclaimer on my posting saying you must be at least 18 years old to purchase. Especially when it comes to my high dollar stuff or a piano or some big ticket item, because I don't want parents pounding on my front door making it my fault that their child bought something without telling them or without their permission, because all sales are final. I don't give money backs. I just don't. In fact, I sold a person, a grown man, middle-aged man, a guitar amp, a crate, made in the USA crate guitar amp, fairly small, just like a practice amp. Really good tube amp, $120. I was only making $20 on the whole thing. This is after an hour labor, taking it apart, cleaning it, blah, blah, blah. So I suppose technically I didn't make any money on it. Because I paid $100 for the amp. I sold it for $120. I take it back. I need to backpedal a little bit. I wanted $120. I told him the price was firm. He shows up 2 hours late, wants to give me $10 less because he didn't have all the money. I sold it to him. So about an hour and a half later, he comes back shooting into my driveway, yelling at me, saying, let me back up again even more, I'm sorry. He sent me an email asking me if you could use this amplifier is it just for guitars? Or can you use it for an electric bass? Or an acoustic electric guitar? Or a microphone? I said, yeah, you could use it for anything. I tested my keyboard on it, my Yamaha Tyros keyboard on it. You can use it for anything. Just make sure you have the effects turn down or off or low, unless you want the effects. So he comes back, long story short, he comes back yelling at me saying, "You said I could use this with a guitar and a microphone." And I said, "Well, yeah, you can." "No, you can't. No, you can't. I tried to hook up my guitar and my microphone up to it." And I was like, "You said you could use both at the same time." I said, "Well, no, that's not what you asked. You said, can you use it for both?" He used the word both, a microphone and a guitar. He didn't say both a microphone and a guitar at the same time. He just said both, not both at the same time. So I said, "Oh, you're trying to use both at the same time." And he says, "Oh yeah, that's what I asked you in my email." And I was like, "No, it isn't. That's not what you asked. You said both. You didn't say both at the same time. There's a big difference." So I said, "Well, technically you can't, but technically you can. You have to go to an electronics store and get what is called a Y adapter. Get a Y adapter. If you get a Y adapter and plug the single end into the input of the amp, you will have two other inputs rather. And you could hook up your microphone and your guitar at the same time." He didn't understand that. He kept going back to, I lied to him about the ability to use the amp with a guitar and a microphone at the same time. And I reiterated back to him, "Well, that's not what you said. You said, can you use it for other things? Can you use it?" He didn't use the word "at the same time" or the words "at the same time." So I only know what he asks, so I gave him the answer in accordance to what he asked. He didn't like my answer. I told him, $5, $7, $8, $9 at Fry's, you can buy a Y adapter. He didn't care about that. He started to go on and on about how I'm a liar, I'm a cheater, I'm going to burn in hell, I'm a bad person, and I should offer warranties and guarantees. And I told him, "Well, I'm not a store. I'm selling used equipment. I'm not a store." Now this guy's like not just religious, he's hyper religious. He's going on and on and on about God this and God that and God this and God and God and God and God this and God that. I finally got fed up with him. I told him to leave my property and don't ever come back. I tried to be cordial with him. I tried to be informational with him. I tried to tell him what he needs to make it so the amp will be usable with a guitar and a microphone at the same time. He didn't want to hear it. So whatever. I sold him the amp as is, where is, no warranty or guarantee expressed or implied. And that's it. No warranty or guarantee expressed or implied. I never offer warranties or guarantees with any of my equipment, or guitars, or basses, or amps, or pianos, or anything else I sell, because I am not a store, and I don't know what you're going to do with the instrument or item after you leave my property. I've had people actually break an item. They broke it. They admitted they broke it. They come back, and they come back angry at me because I won't take back their guitar or bass or whatever it is they bought because they broke it. And I'm like, well, I'm not a store. I don't do warranties or guarantees because you broke it. "Oh, well, no. You want me to take the brunt of the entire loss. Not only will I lose the money, I will lose my item. No. It's as is, where is. As is, where is. No warranty, expressed or implied. That's just the way it is."
Plain, pure, and simple. That's the way it is. I always make sure an item is 100% working before they take it away. I always test play an item before they come to the house, whether it's a guitar or a bass or an amplifier or whatever. I will plug it in beforehand. I have to do that anyway to make sure it's in, the guitar's in tune and all that stuff. Because I'm not going to hand them a guitar that's out of tune or, whatever. So, I always test play it and make sure it works. So that way they can't come back and say, well, it doesn't work. Well, it does work. I have proof it works. I give a person, generally speaking, I give a person a 3-minute test limit. You can sit there and you can play on it, strum on it, whatever, for 3 minutes. And if you don't know within 3 minutes, then you're not going to know in 30 minutes or 13 minutes or whatever. I've had people sit on my front porch and strum on a guitar for 45 minutes and then decide not to buy it and say, well, I don't like it. Okay, well, you just played it for 45 minutes. Do you mean to tell me it takes you 45 minutes to decide? I can pick up any guitar. I don't care where it is, what it is. I don't care if it's a $100 guitar or a $10,000 guitar. And I know within about 30 seconds if I like it. The playability of it. I'm talking about the playability of it. The action, the playability of it, the feel of it. I know within 30 seconds to a minute maximum. And this guy just sat and played and sat and played and sat and played and sat and played. And he had really dirty, grungy hands, as if almost like he ate a pizza and then didn't wash his hands for a week. And I had to repolish this black guitar. And it took me an hour to repolish this guitar. And I was like, what the hell did you have on your hands, dude? What the hell? So I'm having to put all these new rules on people coming to play. No free plays, 3-minute play limit. Please come with preferably freshly washed hands, even if you have to stop off at a gas station or a restaurant or something and wash your hands, 5 minutes or so before you show up to my house. Because if you don't buy it, then I gotta repolish it, and and some people will say, well, I'm being really picky, and it's the cost of doing business. And yes, it is, but be respectful. Don't come to my house with hands that look like they haven't been washed in a week and then touch a black guitar and play it for 45 minutes and then not buy it. He didn't even make an offer on it. He was just like, okay, thanks for letting me play. To me, that's what's called a free play. Somebody who has no intention on buying a guitar. They just come, they call people up who have expensive guitars for sale, and they come for a free play. Because they get to sit in comfort of my home and strum on a guitar, a $500 guitar, $1,000 guitar, $1,500 guitar, whatever the case is, and then just hand it back to me all dirty and smudged up and fingerprinted up, and then leave. That's what in the industry is called a free play. You have zero intention of buying, you're just looking for people to give you free plays. That's an uncool thing. So I had to start enlisting rules when you come and you play a guitar. I don't care if it's a $100 guitar or a $1,000 guitar or a $5,000 guitar. You got 3 minutes to play it. Please come with freshly washed or clean hands. And you get 3 minutes. Please don't wear a belt buckle. Things like that. Just common sense. That's not unreasonable, and I don't think that's unreasonable to make requests to that at all. Because I've had people even come and had a belt buckle, a belt with a belt buckle on it, play a guitar, and he put belt buckle scratches on the back of my guitars. And I look at it and say, hey man, you just scratched my guitar. And I look at him and he looks at me and he's just like, well, sorry man, I gotta go. And it's like, no. No man, you just scratched my guitar with your freaking belt buckle. You broke it. To me, that's the equivalent of you broke it, you bought it. You know, since I'm not a store, I don't have much recourse to do anything about that. You know, I suppose I could call the police and make a report, but then what are they going to do about it? They're going to tell me it's a civil matter. And then I got to try and find the person and take them to court, and it's just, you know, it cost me $2,500 to hire an attorney to get $100 out of somebody because they put a scratch on the guitar. So I have to put all these rules and regs on playing an instrument of mine. I don't think that's unreasonable. I've had a few people tell me that's unreasonable because it's just simply the cost of doing business. And I'm like, you know what? No, not really. It's not the cost of doing business. It really isn't. It's really not the cost of doing business. You know, show a little respect. Show just a little bit of respect, and you'll get some respect back, and it's not a big deal. You know, is it that big of a deal to stop off at a restaurant somewhere and wash your hands before you show up? And show up on time. Don't show up 2 hours late and then give me $10 less, because that's what this guy did with his guitar amp. He shows up he's told me he was going to be here at 3:50, and then 2 hours later he shows up, and he's like, I'm here. And I look at him and look at my watch. I'm like, dude, you're 2 hours late. Whoa. He didn't really even apologize. He was just said, oh. I'm like, yeah, oh. Yeah, I'll say oh. You know, I didn't tell him that. I was just telling myself that. And I thought, well, okay, he's here. I'll show him the guitar amp. I told him all about it, and he liked it. My price was $120 firm. He hands me $110, and he says that's all I got. And I looked at him and I said, you knew my price was firm. It's absolutely firm. I'm only making $20. You know, I'm not making a killing. I'm not making a killing off this amp. Sorry about the noise. I'm not making a killing off this amplifier. I'm making a few bucks for my hour to take the amp apart and dust it and clean it and service it and check the tubes and all that stuff. You know, I'm not making a killing on it. Not making a killing. So I sold it to him, and that's what happened. So, you know. Very, very, very rarely do I have a dissatisfied person. I won't even call him a customer, because I'm not a business. I'm just a guy selling guitars. A lot of people would say I'm a business. But I'm not a store. I'll put it that. I'm not a store. I can't offer warranties and guarantees on used equipment. I think even Guitar Center's updated their return policy on used equipment. I could be wrong on this, but I think they've updated their policy on that, and they do not offer refunds on used equipment anymore. I don't think. I could be wrong. I'll have to check on that maybe tomorrow. But they don't offer warranties or guarantees on used equipment. Is what it is, and that's what it is. What it is. So, at any rate, he came, he looked, he bought, he purchased. That was it.
I'm sorry about using you. It was an operational necessity. You were a resistance fighter. You know that certain times you do things that you're not proud of.
And you know, I was cordial to him. He seemed like a nice guy. Although I could tell immediately he was not just religious, he was hyper religious, because From the minute he got here, he was always God this and God that and God and God and look at the day, beautiful day, God, good day this day, and God 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 and God. And I was just like, he can't say a sentence without putting the word God in it. And I was just like, okay, teach your own, whatever. I'm not going to berate him for that. You know, teach your own. A lot of people go way overboard on that. It's just God, everything, God, everything. They can't say a sentence without saying God this or God that. It's a virtual impossibility to them. And I was just like, I was about to tell him, thank you for your thoughts on God and thoughts on this, but I am agnostic. Thank you. And hopefully he would have gotten the point, but I didn't want to do that. I let it slide. I let it go. No big deal. Whatever. And I gotta move my camera view. You guys can't see what I'm doing up in here. Can't see what I'm doing up in here. So anyway, I let him do his God spiel, and I was just like, oh, that's nice, thank you. And we shook hands, and he took his amp, and he left. Okay, whatever. Seemed like a nice Asian guy. Looked maybe Filipino, maybe middle-aged, maybe a little more middle-aged, maybe late 50s or late 50s, early 60s, I don't know, thereabouts. But boy, was he pissed at me. I was the devil. You're the devil. The devil. I'm like, okay, I'm the devil. Whatever you say, I'm the devil. Whatever you say. You're right, I'm the devil. I am the devil. Whatever you say. Because I wouldn't take the amplifier back. I'm not a store. I don't offer warranties or guarantees. I told him how to use... I even advised him how to use the amplifier with a microphone and a guitar at the same time. Get a Y adapter. Go to Fry's. Order it off of Amazon. It costs you about $5, $7, $8, $10, and it'll work. Oh, it went in one ear and out the other. In one ear, out the other. And I was just like, okay, I had enough. He was interrupting my dinner. I had a friend over sitting on the front porch. We were having sausages, hot dog sausages, and beer, and talking and having a nice time on my front porch. And he pulls up and pulls this. And I was just like, came back to my dinner, and my dinner was cold, and I was just like, no. I had to stick my hot dog back on the barbecue to heat it up again, and he interrupted me and my friend, and no. I do not like people. Well, let me. Lost my train of thought. I do not like people who use religion like that. They use it as a tool. Ooh, why is this? Wait, did I get a cross-thread? No? That feels okay. I almost thought I got that cross-thread for a second. They use religion as a tool to berate or harm somebody else. You're gonna burn it. He actually said the words, you are going to burn in hell. You are an evil, bad person. And I'm like, I tried to help you and advise you how to use your amplifier with microphone and a guitar at the same time, because that's not what you asked. You asked, here's what your question was. You asked if you can use the amplifier with other things other than a guitar amplifier. Can you use it with both? He did use the word both. With both a microphone and a guitar, and I said yes. But I said that because he didn't say the word both at the same time. He didn't use those words, quote unquote, at the same time. And I was just, whatever. I'm going to put the view back because I'm done assembling the tremolo now. So anyway, whatever. Whatever, dude. And he hasn't been back since. Whatever. The guy didn't have a lot of money. The guy contacted me once before, about a month and a half ago, asking me if I would take any less money for the amp. And I said, you know what, I can't. I'm only making $20 on it. I told him the same spiel. I'm only making $20 on it. I'm not making a killing off of it. It's a made in the USA tube amplifier that's 120 watts. It's a good deal for $120. I've taken it apart. I've cleaned it. I've serviced it. It's a good deal. So he finally calls me back and says, I'm ready to buy your amp. $120. He shows up 2 hours late and gives me $10 less. It's just like, oh, okay. And he said, oh, but I'm using this for a church, and I play at retirement centers. And I thought, okay, I'll give you a $10 discount, $10 leeway, whatever you want to call it. Whatever. So that's the thanks I get. Yeah, whatever, Whatever. Yeah, anyway, whatever. Okay, enough of that story. I'm tired of talking about that guy. So the bottom line is you can't please all the people all the time. I do try it and treat. I don't try. I do treat everybody as if they are a quote-unquote customer at a store. If my house here was an actual brick and mortar store, I want them to be happy, comfortable. I have beautiful chairs to sit out in front. It's in the shade. I offer them water, soda, juice. I offer them, I have a fully stocked pantry full of beef jerky and potato chips, and I offer them snacks and food, and, I make people feel very welcome and very comfortable, because that can go a long way in helping a person make a purchase. Because even if it's the best guitar in the world and they really like it and want it, if you're an asshole, they're not going to buy it from you. No matter how good the guitar is or how good a price it is, they're not going to buy it from you simply because if you are an asshole to them. So I'm very kind and considerate and, make sure if it's in the summertime, they're cool. If it's the wintertime, they're warm. I offer them water, soda, juice, chips, crackers, whatever. I have a huge pantry full of just all kinds of wonderful and great fresh snacks, and just I make people feel good, basically. Because I would want the same way. Because I understand people have to drive to me, and if it's hot, and they come to the front door and they're hot and they're tired, and I'm like, hey, do you need some water? Hey, do you want a soda? Hey, do you, so I'm very accommodating that way. A lot of people and friends tell me that's to my own detriment, and I should be nice, but not that nice, because people will take advantage of that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I understand. I know, I understand this. People will take advantage. They'll come here and they'll drink all my water and my soda and have all my snacks. Look at a $300 guitar and then offer me $200 for it. To me, that is a cost of doing business. Not if somebody comes back and is rude to me. That's not a cost of doing business to me. You know, if I spend, you know, somebody, I give them water, I give them soda, I give them a little snack, you know, whatever, and that costs me, say, $3, and they don't buy the guitar they're coming to look at, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. That is what's called cost of business. The cost of business, for lack of a better term. But if a person comes here and I make them comfortable and welcome and give them a snack and a drink and make them feel welcome and they buy the guitar, that's fine if I spend that $2, $3, $4 on them, making them comfortable while they're here. Not that big of a deal. I don't care. It's not a big deal. I'll do it. Okay, now we're going to put the truss rod cover on. I will adjust my camera view so you guys can see. This is a brand new truss rod cover. One of the ones that I ordered and got in the opening, the unpackaging, unboxing last time around. And they're perfect fit. Perfect fit truss rod covers. This guitar was missing the truss rod cover when the guy brought it to me, and he still owes me a Gibson Les Paul body, and he has not brought it to me yet. So I'm getting a little concerned. He has not contacted me back in about 6 days now. I'm getting a little concerned if this guy's going to contact me back, because our deal was based on him bringing me that body, and he said he forgot it or something, and he said he would bring it back to me, and he hasn't, and it's like I'm getting a little worried if I'm ever going to see or hear from this guy again. So if he doesn't give me that body, that's about a $300 loss, because the body was worth $150, and then if I don't get the body, that's double, because that's two things I'm losing out. I'm losing out on the body, and I'm losing out on the money that the body is worth, because I don't have it. I'm not doing anything with it. So there is that. Okay, next thing I need to put on is the string retainer. I don't know where those are. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to look through my packages, because oh boy, I think these are it. I'll set these to the side here. Oh, I'll put them over here. I'll put this over here. So I ordered these off of Amazon. They were $3, and I get 4 string retainers and accompanying screws in black. Here, I'll show you I'll show you the other side without the SKU sticker on it. Whoops. So I will unpackage those, and I will be right back. Forthwith. I need a fresh drink, fresh soda or juice or something. I don't know what yet.
You're going to save a lot of money.
Switch today. It's all backed by a 30-day risk-free guarantee. Call 1-800-853-1372. Go online or visit a Target store today.
You got to look into it. You should be with Consumer Cellular. You broke the replicator power converter with the plasma manifold, I take it.
That's right.
Nice work. You know I'll have that thing bypassed in 30 minutes.
At least that'll be 30 minutes if we're visible.
Fortunately, I was able to take us into a nebula. No one's going to see us.
Thanks.
You're lucky you only got singed. You know, the whole plasma relay could have exploded.
Yeah, that was the idea.
You've been fighting Cardassians most of your life. I know that you sympathize with what we're doing here.
I fought the Cardassians because they invaded my home. You don't live in the demilitarized zone. You don't have family there. Why are you in this fight?
Because people are dying in the demilitarized zone and Starfleet isn't doing anything about it.
Taking the Defiant only raises the stakes. The Cardassians are going to send a fleet after you. They are going to kill more people hunting you down than they ever did during those border raids.
You're assuming the Defiant is going to stay in the demilitarized zone. Let's go to the bridge. I think we'd all feel better having you someplace we can keep an eye on.
15 outposts have checked in. No sign of the Defiant. 26 warships have scanned 14 cubic light years of space with anti-photon beams. No Defiant. What are the possibilities? They're still under cloak and heading deeper into Cardassian space. They're laying low, waiting for some unknown reason. Picard, are you listening to me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Commander. I was thinking about my son's birthday.
Okay.
Yes. Today is his 11th birthday.
Oh.
I promised to
I
take
could have had a V8, which is what I'm having, a V8.
He always wanted to go.
I love V8 juice. Oh.
I never had the time.
And sometimes, like on a cold winter day, I like to take V8 juice and kind of make a soup out of it. And heat it up a little bit. And have a grilled cheese sandwich. And ooh, boy, that is bomb. That's awesome. Awesome sauce. That's awesome sauce. Okay. So, we'll open this up and I will take out a brand new string retainer and 2 screws. Boom, boom. I'm not going to get a whole lot of money for this guitar. It is what it is. I'm into, when I'm going to be done with this, I'm going to be into it for about $140, including what I paid for it, parts, supplies, labor. So all in all, I'm going to make about $30-40 on it, whatever. Not a high-end guitar. It's kind of a semi-rare guitar. It's from the mid to late 80s. Thereabouts. So, these are brand new, but I'm going to take my polish rag that's already kind of impregnated with polish from polishing off guitars and just kind of give it a little extra polish on it. Polish. So what was I saying? What was I getting back to? Oh, yeah. So again, yeah, I try and make people feel as warm and welcome and comfortable here as possible, and I treat them as if they are a bona fide customer. Because I would want to be treated the same way. Plain, beer, and simple. Plain, beer, and simple. Oh man, I see a problem already. Oh man, this is not cool. Oh well, I take it back. Oh man. Okay. I screwed down the first. Oh, why is this one? There we go. I've screwed down the first one kind of too low. Okay. No problem. No problem. I take it back. Yeah, anyway. Back to what I was saying. I'm going to move the camera view because we're done with our new truss rod cover and our brand new string retainer. So I will move the camera view back.
Because these stakes are far greater than border outposts.
Not for the lucky, they're not, because
So yeah, again, I try and make people feel as welcome as possible, as welcome as humanly possible, because I would want to be treated the same way. So yeah.
You're trying to be a hero.
So.
Terrorists don't get to be heroes.
I've even had people ask me, "Hey man, you got a beer?" And it's like, no, I don't drink. I don't want to get somebody freaking drunk, and then they buy my guitar, and then get in an accident on the way home, or come back and say, "Well, you sold me this guitar, and I was drunk." And no, I'm not going to go through that either. No. So I just tell people, yeah, I don't drink. Sorry, no beer. Thank you though. Okay. So what next? We got our electronics done and soldered up. I think, did I take a picture of this after? I do have an after picture then. Okay, so I think I'm gonna move my thing back that I use to do the tremolo rebuilds on that my brother bought me that. This little vise means a lot to me because my brother bought it for me for Christmas, and I told him I needed a little vise or a little something to do tremolo work on because I've only got 2 hands, and sometimes things take like 3 hands or 4 hands. The last time I looked, I only have 2. I only have 2 hands, so. But this is a cool little vise. I can't show you the vise right now because I moved it, but I'll show you the box. The vise. But my brother bought me this for Christmas, last Christmas, because I actually wanted him to make me a vise of some sort. Because he likes to make things and out of wood and metal, and I thought, well, maybe a cool project for him. But I told him it needed to be many multiple axis. It needed at least to be 3 axis, if not 4 axis, because I needed to be able to turn and manipulate and all that stuff. So he saw this one at Harbor Freight and was like, I think this will work for him. So he got it for me, and it's an awesome little vise. I highly recommend it for hobby work and modeling work and detail work and thing of that. It's got a little anvil on top, and it's got a 3-bolt mount. If you want to bolt it to a table or a workbench, it also has a screwable clamp, so you can clamp it to the edge of a workbench or table. I use this thing all the time when I work on a tremolo because you have to hold the tremolo and then try to put it together, and it's just like you need a 3rd or 4th hand, and you can't do it. But if you put it in a vise, you saw me work on it, and you have that extra dexterity, for lack of a better description. So anyway, okay. I'm going to get my camera and take pre-pictures of the original satin finish because I'm about to I think I'm at the step where I need to satin finish the guitar. So I will get my camera and take pictures of that because that's what I do.
To a few friends in the Central Command, the obsidian orders are giving them any answers either. The order has to answer to someone. In theory, they answer to the political authority of its top or consul, just as the military does. In practice, we both run our own affairs. Not a very efficient system.
It's worked for over 5 centuries.
There's an incoming message from the warship Klasic. They say they found an unusual neutrino signature in their sector. It looks like radiation from a damaged warp plasma relay.
Is this signature moving?
No. But they're scanning the area with their anti-proton beams.
Where is the Klaxon?
Okay, so I got my camera, my still camera. I'm going to take kind of pre-pictures of it.
Still don't know that Arias is the target.
I don't know, I'm a little bit too far away from macro.
Other potential targets to chase down.
Macro picture. But, yeah, okay, that's good. No macro. We're too far away from macro. 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 Oh, okay. So to reset and finish it, you have several options. You have very, 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 very fine sandpaper, whatever grit. I'm not going to mention a grit number because some people like a hard satin finish, some people like a little bit shinier one, so some people use a very fine sandpaper. Some people use Scotch-Brite. There's different Scotch-Brites. There's brown, green, different ones. Steel wool. There's different grades of steel wool. I don't necessarily like the steel wool because then you have to deal with all the little broken off steel particles. Scotch-Brite, you don't have to do that. Sanding is cool, but I like to do it wet, and you can't do it wet if the guitar is all together and electronics and pickup, So for me, or for anyone, this is a good option. So Scotch-Brite. Rule of thumb: don't use a heavy hand, because if you go too far, then that's it. You can't put material back. You can't put paint back. So go lighter, just kind of the weight of your hand. Start off very, very slow, and then when I'm done, I'll wash my hands and I will not touch the body, because if you go and you touch any oil, the oils from your hand, even if you've already washed, you could put something back. Satin finish guitars are kind of, I like them. I think they're cool, but satin finish guitars do not last very long. So you go very light, even less than the weight of your hand or fingers. And I don't recommend doing this unless you want a swirl finish on it. But lighter is better, more is less. Because this is a brand new piece of Scotch-Brite. And I have other pieces of Scotch-Brite that are old or used. Should I want something with a lighter, less prevalent satin finish to it. Be careful with edges, because edges can be very difficult. So when you go over an edge, lighten your load up by about half. Because you'll notice if you go across an edge and you go, wait a minute, why is it darker? Or why is it lighter? That's why. Go very, very light. And I'm just re-satin finishing this because the satin finish has become, parts of the satin finish have become shiny and fingerprints and all that stuff. So, and I can use my my rag that I use to polish off the guitars with very lightly, just to kind of get off the dust and all that good stuff. So, and if this starts to get full of dust, I can take it outside, either outside or to my shop, and blow it out with a compressor of the dust. So just go very light. And if I don't want to use my fingers, I can use something that's block shaped, so I put it more uniform. Oh gosh, I don't think I have anything up here. Maybe I can use this as an example. But if I don't want to use my fingers or my hands, because that'll give a variance on it. If you want it a little more uniform, you can do something like this. Like this, and it'll give you a more uniform finish, if you will, to it. And just very, very, very lightly. Again, less is more. Try not to do this. Go go back and forth in an arc, or go very straight like this. If you go this way, go very straight. If you go diagonal, go very straight. Don't vary your pitch, if you will, because if you vary your pitch, and I won't be able to do a perfect satin finish on this. It's going to be slightly varied, just because I'm doing it manually. I could strip the guitar and repaint it satin finish, but I don't want to put $400 into a guitar I'm going to get $250 for. I just don't. You know, I do have to earn a living and making a living at this too, so. And if you notice, just take notice if you don't like the satin finish, how it's coming out. You can put a little bit more pressure, but don't put muscle pressure to it. Put pressure, just the weight of your hand, the weight of your fingers, just a little bit more like this, not like this, not like this. Because if you go too far, you will start to go through the factory. You will start to go through the factory finish, and you'll start to see wood. I've told people this before, and they call me up and they go, "Man, I started doing this, and now I see bare wood." I said, "Well, you bared down too hard. I told you not to bear down hard. What did you do? You bared down hard, I bet." "Well, yeah. Well, yeah, I was right. Well, yeah, I was right. You bared down." Now, if see how this little accident of mine just happened where the pad went sideways. Don't do this and move it back, because then you'll put a swirl in it. Very gently pick it up straight and put it back straight, unless you're going for a swirl. If you're going for a swirl, that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine if you want to go for a swirl. I'm not gonna berate you for doing that. Oop, it went sideways, see? So I pick it up and I very gently move it. And I go back to what I was doing. So now I'll take my rag and I'll very gently remove the dust. And you can kind of see how the satin finish is coming out. It's coming out pretty darn good, pretty darn nice. It's very uniform, it's very even, considering it's being done by hand. Again, satin finishes do not last long. Whoever buys this guitar, the satin finish is probably going to last a few days to a week, and then it's gone. And a lot of people who buy brand new satin finish guitars, end up calling the music store or wherever they bought it from, saying, "Why isn't my satin finish lasting?" Well, satin finishes are very porous, and anything you get on it, body oil, sweat, if you eat a sandwich or a piece of pizza and you pick up your guitar, guess what? That satin finish is not going to last at all. It will be shiny within a month. Especially if you only play it, especially if I take that back. Especially if you play a guitar once every day or whatever, every other day, every third day, whatever. So I'm going to stand up and look at my job and decide if I want to go any further with it. It looks pretty good except for this area right here. I still see a lot of modeling and kind of fingerprinting right here. So I'm going to go over it again. And I'm not going to slam it down. I'm going to very gently put it on there. I'm going to use this little block. I'm going to double check my pressure before I start. And I'm going to go just a tiny bit harder because there's that, there's an edge right here. And if I keep going over this edge, it's going to get a white spot right here. And it's already kind of started a little bit. And again, I'm not going for perfection here. You know, this is a guitar I'm going to get less than $200 for. So I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying for perfection. I'm just not. I'm just trying to make it look nice. I'm trying to take the old fingerprints off and, you know, greasy fingerprints from the previous person. And that's it. I'm not going for perfection here, as I keep saying and keep mentioning. Oh yeah, that's much better. So that looks pretty darn good. That looks pretty darn good. I think I'm going to call that back done. And I still have to do the sides. I have to do the cutouts. So I still got quite a bit of labor to do for satin finishing the top. There's a lot of hand wear, if you can see it. Yeah, you can see where somebody kind of rested their palm and this finger right here. So I'm gonna do a little extra right there, but it's coming out pretty good. I'm liking the way it's coming out. Whoever gets this guitar is gonna be happy with it. They're not gonna complain to me, that's for sure. Like I said, I think I'm gonna put $180 on this guitar because that's really about all it's worth, unless I put a high dollar or medium dollared pickup in it. I'm leaving the stock pickup in it, the stock pots, stock everything on it. Excuse me. So anyway, there is that. So okay. So I'm gonna pull the pickup kind of up to the point where you can't pull it out anymore, and I'm gonna kind of rest it because I don't want to scratch up the chrome metal bezel that it has on it. So I'm gonna take a pre-picture. Don't forget my pre-picture, Mark. Oh, you know what? Oh gosh, I need to flip it back over because I didn't take a picture of the finish. You know, I took a before picture. If you guys remember a few minutes ago. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to flip this sucker over real quick and take my after picture because I took a before picture and now I'm gonna take an after picture because that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, anyway, alright, after picture of the satin finish here. I'm gonna look at the before picture and the after picture. Yeah, there's definitely a difference, I'll tell you that much. Definitely difference. Definitely difference. Okay, now I'm gonna flip it back forward. And move that pickup back. I'm gonna take a before picture again. Oh, it helps if the camera's on. I gotta switch the... Whoops. Yeah, it does help if the camera's actually turned on. Just so you know, cameras work better if they're turned on. That's just a little life tip. They do work better if they're turned on. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take a little bit more attention to detail to the top, because when you're playing a guitar, that's what you see. And there's more wear, generally speaking, to the front than there is the back, because you're resting your hand, you're picking, putting strum marks from a pick. So there's a little bit more wear on the front of a guitar than there is on the back of a guitar. So, okay, that being said, we're going to start. And here we go.
I am unaccustomed to working in a hierarchy. In the collective, there was no need to ask permission. If you're going to be a member of this crew, get used to it. Procedures exist for a reason. We've got to work together. Follow the same set of rules. Lieutenant, I was given that lecture once by Captain Janeway when I first joined this crew. If I could adjust to Starfleet life, so can you.
And I'm going to put a little bit more pressure down. You can hear the difference compared to when I did the back, because there's more wear in the front, and there's a polish mark from where somebody rested their palm here, to pick. So there is that. So I'm going to add a little bit more pressure. Not much, just a little. Because like I said, a little goes a long way. And once you've taken too much finish off, you can't go back. You can't put more finish back on. You just can't. Yeah, come on. I think it's going to come out pretty good. And then I'm going to have to fill in these nicks with some flat black paint. Ooh. Ah, darn it. I almost broke my own rule. Almost.
Computers, lock onto these coordinates. I need a site-to-site transport. No, wait.
Ooh. It moved. It's going to move a lot because you've got two cavities here, and you got the neck, and you've got two pots, and everything to kind of. You've got everything to kind of mess you up in terms of. Getting it going straight, But I've done enough of these to do pretty good at it. And again, we're not going for perfection because it's not that valuable of a guitar, so I'm not trying to go for perfection up in here. Oops, it moved again on me. Oops, I'm going to have to move it here because I was about to do the little cutaway here. You want to go very uniform and very, very light, because corners take more of a beating, if you will, for lack of a better term. When you're painting, sanding, you go over a corner or an edge. I have so many people calling me and say, man, I tried to sand this thing, and when I go over an edge, my paint's gone. And I says, paint on edges and corners are thinner, because that's just the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the beast. That's the way it works, unfortunately. I'm going to have to pick up the pickup and do this. Ooh, it moved. Pick up the pickup, because that's where that shiny spot is. And again, less is more, so be careful. Again, it's not going to be perfect, because it is what it is, and that's what it is. It's not going to be perfect. And when you need to move over to another section of the guitar around the post, you're going to have to pick up the piece and then move your block. And then put a little bit more pressure, not flat, but a little bit angled, because you're at an edge right here. So you want to go a little bit up like this, and then go very slowly and very uniform and very, 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 and then move it. Don't go like this and then move. You want to finish your spot, pick it up, move it, because you got to go down a section, and then pick it up and move it, because otherwise you'll see that swirl move down. Ooh, I'm going to have to take this pad out and blow it out with the compressor here in a minute, because it's getting full. So I'm going to very gently wipe it off, wipe the dust off, and see how it's coming along. Again, we're not going for perfection, because it's just not a perfect guitar to begin with, and it's not $1,000 guitar or anything, so we're not going for perfection. Plain, bare, and simple.
The usual story. Have you been getting enough sleep? More or less. Mostly less. Have your headaches been getting any worse?
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit and look at it.
The needles driving into my skull. Symptoms hardly
Oh, excuse me. My drink almost went down the wrong pipe. Excuse me a minute, I'm sorry. Ooh, almost. Not quite, but almost. So I'm going to look at them. I'm going to see any shiny or light spots that I need to bear down just a little tiny bit more when I go across it. And from what I can see, that's here and here. You know, especially around the controls where your fingers touch the... So it's basically in this area where I need to bear down a little bit more. Right here too, I see a spot. Right in this area. So. Ooh. And I see some kind of, I don't know, schmutz or something right here. And it's actually just coming off with my fingernail. So I'm going to do that first real quick. Because anything you can get off of a surface first, you really want to do. I highly recommend. We're in an hour. We are at an hour and 14 minutes. It feels like 2 hours and 14 minutes. I'm really tired, but I'm going to complete this guitar tonight. I've got the strings ready. The tremolo is put back together. I just need to finish the satin finish on the top, and then the sides, and then the cutouts. I'm not gonna do the headstock. I was able to kind of clean off the headstock enough, because you don't touch the top inside of the headstock too much. In fact, you really don't touch it at all much unless you're changing strings, and it looks pretty good. So I'm not going to mess with the satin finish on the top of the headstock. So there is that. So anyway, that being said, am I going to take this pad out and blow it out with the compressor? No. On second thought, I'm not going to do that yet. It's not that bad yet. Okay, so... Okay, so I'm going to go over the whole thing again, and then I'm going to concentrate on this area, and then this area, because that seems to be the more shiny areas where somebody rested their palm and their pinky finger right here. So there's kind of an arc right here. So I wanna lessen that up, if at all humanly possible, or inhumanly possible for that matter. So here we go.
Do you think he'll say anything to the captain? I don't know. Well, how did he sound? Annoyed?
Take a drink of my drink because I'm a little parched.
What more can I tell you? Deck one.
A V8 juice. I could have had a V8. And I am having to be in. Okay, anyway.
Okay, you go first. I'll come in a minute later.
No, that'll look even more suspicious.
So here we go.
Listen to us. We're acting like criminals when we haven't done anything wrong.
Well, I'm not saying that we have. I just thought we wanted to keep this relationship to ourselves. We do, right?
Do you?
If you do.
Computer, I'll turbo lift. Let's figure out how we're gonna handle this.
Well, I don't think that is anybody else's business how we feel about each other.
Neither do I.
I'm gonna put a little, you can hear me, bearing down a little more pressure.
More careful in public, and we don't say anything to anybody.
At least for now.
Now, sounds like you see a future in this.
Oh,
I would never
see, this is where it catches because we've got two cavities here, so I have to pick it up, stop, pick it up, and move it, and continue on. And I'm going to put the block a little closer to the edge because we're closer to the edge of another edge, and we want to make sure we get inside of that edge there, so I'm going to have to move the block over a little bit so we have some pressure there to actually get to where we need.
keep our shields at maximum strength. Divert auxiliary power if
And
you
then
need.
I'll pick it up and I will move it again
Report any problems immediately.
to the next spot, and then pick up the pickup, and very carefully move it over.
I'll stick with you for a moment.
And okay, here we go.
I don't usually pry into the personal lives of my crew, but in this case, I have to question your recent conduct.
I guess it's
Okay,
too
now I
hard.
have to move the block so as to
But you two have been making enough of a public display that has the ship has gossiping
make
about it.
the
Believe me,
pressure,
you are senior officers,
and
I
pick it
expect
up
you to
and move it
maintain
again on the other side of the pot,
adolescent behavior makes me question
Go.
my faith in you both.
and then pick it up and move it to the other side of the other pot, which is the tone pot.
But you consider yourself under orders to use better judgment about it. Is that understood?
And pick it up again, and move it to the other side of the tone pot. Oops, I miscalculated. Need it closer to the edge. And then I have to pick it up and move it again to the other side. You kind of see how I'm kind of doing it. I'm kind of doing it in a grid, if you will. I finish a grid, I pick it up, I do another grid. I finish, I pick it up, I do another grid.
Computer, hard copy, black.
So that's kind of the what I do. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up the pickup, wipe it off, wipe off the dust, and kind of see where we're at. Yeah. I like it, but I don't like it. There's still a spot here where the person rested their kind of the side of their palm and their pinky right here. But again, you can only do so much because the paint is only so thick.
Softer than ever.
And then you'll start rubbing through the paint, and you'll have one spot that is more satin finished than the other. You want to try and go uniform. Or at least I'm trying to go for more uniform. And it's just, yeah. Like I keep saying, I'm not going for perfection. I'm just going for better than what it is right now. Because again, excuse me, this is a guitar that I'm going to get less than $200 for. But you see the amount of labor I'm going through to make this guitar look nice, because I want the person to have a nice guitar when they buy it. So sitting here, moving my head back and forth, I see a spot here. Let me use a pointing device here. I see a shiny spot here, 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 and here. Now this is where you would, your thumb comes across to adjust the tone, so there's a spot here. To adjust the volume, your pinky will come across like this, so there's a little bit of shiny spot here. And there's a shiny spot here, here, and here. So I'm going to try and lighten that up. Maybe one more time, and then after that I'm going to call it done, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, because at least it will be better than what it was before. So there is that. So here looks good, here looks good, here looks good, here looks good. It's just kind of from here on. So I'm going to very carefully move this. Now I can do two things. If I want to do the shiny spots, I can use the block, or I can do it by hand. Now I'm astute enough to do it by hand and just do the shinier spots. So I think I'm gonna do that. So what I do is I take the piece, and I take my index finger, and I kind of bow the piece, and then I will lightly, ever so lightly, even less than hand weight or finger weight, go across the light spots like this. And then usually, lo and behold, the shiny spot will go away. Now let's take a rag, and there it is. It's about 40% lighter than what it was. I can go a little bit more.
That's pretty harsh. I hope I can manage it. Well, she does have a point. You could have been more discreet. Oh, I forgot I was talking to the most upstanding ensign in Starfleet. Good morning.
Now this spot, I can't go like this because the pot's in the way, so I'll have to use my left hand. And I am ambidextrous, so I'll double, triple, quadruple check the way I want to do it, and then start. And I will go very uniform. I won't go like this. I will go like this, straight across, because we are going across a flat surface. So going arced is not going to do it. Okay, and that's it. You only go a few strokes. A few strokes go a long way. A long, long way. And again, I'm not going for perfection. I'm just going for, 40, 50, 60, 70% better than what it was.
Interesting. Do Talaxians and Mylians share a common ancestry? Not that I know of. No races ever intermarry. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can. Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna stand up and look at it. Yeah, this is all done. I need to go over this one little spot right here, which this part of your hand would rest here. So I'm going to go over that one more time, and I'm going to stand up and do it because I can see it a little bit better. I'm going to go this way rather than this way. And I'm still going the same direction, I'm just changing my hand location. So, here we go. And I'm going to put just a tiny bit more hand pressure down. Just a tiny, 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 ever so tiny bit.
I'm afraid that's me. I seem to be developing my lean sweat gland. Sorry.
Okay. Now I'm going to wipe it off real quick and check my work. Oh! Oops. Okay. It's a little bit ununiform, so I'm going to use the block to kind of even it out. I'm going to use the block to even it out.
At least you're not losing your eyesight. See that display over there? nothing but a blur. You think that's bad?
Okay. And I'm going to stand up and look at it. Oh, yeah. Yep. 90% better. Now I have to look at it and look at it overall and decide if I'm done with the top. And then I can go to the sides and then the cutouts. And then finish this sucker up.
I've just gotten reports of more patients on the way. It's going to get crowded in here. How's the scan?
Yeah, I think I'm going to call this done. It's pretty darn... It's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. So I'm gonna call. I'm gonna get back in there, you. I'm gonna call this done. I'm gonna call that done. And I'm gonna put a screw to hold the pickup, so that way it doesn't come flopping around and make marks on the top of the guitar. I'm just going to put one, not tight, just as a holder, hold the pickup in place. That looks pretty darn good in my estimation. I'm going to take an after picture. I'm going to take an after picture. And then look at the before picture and after picture, and there's about, oh gosh, oh wow. There's about a 80% improvement. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but again, we're not going for perfection. We're just going for better than what it was, a lot better than what it was, so it's pretty good. And this will come out when if I finish this guitar tonight, which I'm pretty sure I'll finish this guitar tonight. I'll take pictures of it tomorrow and put it on my website, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And you guys will be able to see. I'll tilt it, and you'll be able to see it looks pretty darn uniform. Pretty darn uniform. Not perfect, but pretty darn uniform. And that's all we're going for. We're not going for perfection. Because again, this is a guitar. I'm not going to get $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 for it. This is a guitar I'm going to get just under $200 for. I think when it's all said and done, I'm going to put $180 on this guitar. And that's it. I might put two on it. I might put 2 on it. Somebody offers me $175, $180. I'll probably take it. Yeah, probably. Not definitely, but probably. Excuse me. Excuse me. So we're in an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to flip it to its side and do the sides, bottom, other side, cutouts, and then call the resatting finished. When I flip it over, I'll decide if I can use the block or not. We'll see. We'll see once I flip it to its side. I don't know yet until I flip it to its side and decide. Flip it to its side and decide. Yeah, there's too many edges, so I'm going to do it by hand, and I'm going to go really, really light. So I'm just going to use my 3 fingers as if it were the wood block I just used. I'm going to start. I'm going to hold the guitar firmly, and I'm just going to... I'm not going to go like this. I'm going to go woo, 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 woo. 1 fell swoops. Each fell swoop like that. So that way it's more uniform. And I'm going to go very slow when it comes to this cutout here in the center, because typically if you go to the cutout center, you'll go like this, and you'll go kind of off kilter. So you go like that. You want to go with the curves. If you try and go straight, you're gonna mess up. It's that plain, pure and simple. You're gonna mess up. Okay, let's take our rag and check our. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, look at that. Let the camera focus for a second. Yep. Not bad. Pretty good. Again, it is not a high-end, expensive guitar, so we're not going to try and break records with this guitar. Now, since this is a curve right here with the jack input, I have to kind of do this. I kind of don't have a choice. So I will go even lighter when it comes to my touch, just to kind of, I'll do it on a corner. And then that's it. And I can use the cut edge also. I can go like this. But I will have to go really slow and really uniform, because when you use the edge will go like this. It will bend like that. So you have to use your fingers very close to it and go like this. So the edge, it'll still do it anyway, but it won't do it as much as if you have it up here and it goes like this. You're trying to get away from doing that. So you want to go close like this. See? Closer the better. Closer the better. Very uniform, very straight, very, very everything. And then take your rag, wipe off the dust, check your work, look at it, inspect it, and see if it's where you want to be. If it is, and I'm kind of considering this done right now, this side done rather. Now we will go and do the other side. So here we go.
The effects are starting to become life-threatening.
What happened to Valana?
The alveoli in her lungs suddenly stopped processing oxygen. I've got her in respiratory.
So you see how I'm going with the curves, and I'm going very uniform, very straight, very, And I'm letting my fingers caress the curves. Now, if that's not the look you're going for, and you want a swirled look, and you want to, that's fun. That's absolutely 110% fine. That's fine. Now, when you have two edges here, you don't want to go in the middle of your piece like this, because then you're gonna do more wear to your edges than you will the center. So you want to put your fingertips very at the edge like this, not like this, but like this, and then put your piece at the edge, like I've been doing. So that way your edges see about 50 to 80% less wear on the edges.
I can only conclude that someone has implanted these microscopic tags in the DNA of the crew to cause genetic mutations. For what purpose? I don't know. And I get the feeling they don't want us to find out.
Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I'm ecstatic with how it's coming out so far. Ecstatic. Very good. Very nice. Very good. Very good and very nice. I'm almost ready to call that done. Let me re-inspect it. You know what? I'm going to call that done. I'm going to call it done.
Computer, give me a Type 4 micro-inducer.
Yeah, I'm going to call that done. Now I'm going to do the cutouts. And again, instead of going 3 fingers, I'm going to go 2. I'm going to bow the piece and go very, very lightly. And then we're going to do the
unusual energy signatures
around the edge of the
transmitting a signal.
neck, where the neck goes.
No. That's one room down.
Now you have here, and you have here on the other side of the strap button. Now I could either do one of 2 things. I could take the strap button off and just, you know, like this, or I could just simply take one finger
Someone out there could be watching.
and very, very, very lightly go like this. And then do the other side. Very, very lightly. That way I don't have to take the strap button off, and it's one less step and a little less late, you know. So now we're gonna check our work. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's yeah, that's nice. That's done. I don't even need to go over that a second time. Now we'll do the other side. Again, 2 fingers. We'll start here, the edge. Go slow, take your time, you're not in a rush, because, you know, this is a big curve and it's like a roller. Look at it like a roller coaster. Like this, you know? Look at it like a roller coaster. And then go from there. Look at it as a roller coaster. Oh yeah. Nice. Now I'm going to inspect the entire guitar. And decipher if I want to do any more in terms of body, satin finishing. Because again, we're not going for perfection, we're just going for nice and good. It's not $1,000 guitar, so we don't need to treat it as such. It's a $200 guitar. And I'm going to call that satin finish. I'm going to call this satin finish. I'm going to call it done. I'm going to call it done. I feel like I've been working on this for like 5 hours, but we're only at 1 hour and 39 minutes.
Internal scans haven't revealed anything about the genetic mutations.
So,
Still all
that being said, where'd my
understood.
Scotch-Brite piece go? Where'd it go? Whoops. It went onto the floor. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Okay. Now, see, it's all full of dust, especially there in the bottom. I'm going to take that and I'm going to blow that out in the in my shop with a compressor tomorrow, so I can continue to use this. Continue to use this new piece of Scotch-Brite tomorrow on another project or something in the future. So there is that. Now I'm going to take an after. Do I need to take an after picture?
You do seem
Nope, I don't need to take an after picture. I already did. It's kind of hard to take a picture of the sides. So I will kind of forego that. Yeah. I'll kind of forego that, if you will. Now, let's see, what do I want to do next? I could put the knobs back, the tremolo back. Well, yeah, the tremolo back. I need to polish the pickup bezel, put the tremolo back. put the knobs back. I need to sat and finish the covers. Put the new strings on it, and then we're ready to put a setup on it. I see an edge right here, the kind of leading edge of the tremolo cover. There's like some white substance there. I'm gonna kind of clean that up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's better. That's 40% better. Okay. Alright. We're pretty good. I'm going to take a very quick break, go to the bathroom, maybe get a fresh drink, V8 or juice or something. I feel like I need to eat a piece of lunch meat or something. I didn't have a very large dinner because I overate yesterday and overate the day before, because yesterday was National Hot Dog Day, so I had like 4 sausage dogs during the day. We barbecued and had friends over, and we barbecued sausage dogs and hot dogs and all that because it was National Hot Dog Day. So I kind of took a break from overeating today, but I'm kind of semi-hungry, so I'm gonna raid the fridge here for a sec, go to the bathroom, and I will be back in about a minute. So hold tight, folks. Hold tight.
Feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best. Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to lower cholesterol and slows sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. So start feeling lighter, more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a rounded basis to participating law firms. See disclaimer for law firms. Attention cancer victims who used the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to financial compensation. If you or a loved one used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the number on your screen now. Call 800-507-0721.
You want air smelling home, but some air fresheners use heavy, overwhelming scents. Introducing Febreze One, a new range of innovative air fresheners with no heavy perfumes that you can feel good about using in your home to deliver a light, natural-smelling freshness. Febreze One neutralizes stale, stuffy odors and releases a subtle hint of fragrance like bamboo or lemongrass ginger. To eliminate odors with no heavy perfumes, try new Febreze One. Brand power helping you buy better.
How many?
I've observed 56 of the aliens. There could be more.
Have you seen any pattern to their behavior? Any hint as to what they're trying to accomplish?
They seem to be conducting experiments on the crew and monitoring the results.
As if Voyager were one big petri dish.
I may be among them. In the turbo lift, one of them probed me with a medical instrument.
We cannot allow them to continue.
I've been analyzing their energy signatures. I believe there's a way to make them visible to everyone.
How?
Using a precisely modulated phaser beam. If we expose them, the crew may be able to fight back.
But what if the aliens retaliate by inflicting lethal mutations on everyone? It's too risky.
What do you suggest?
The key to the aliens' control is the genetic tags.
Okay.
Electric shock would
Oh, wow, my back is really killing me. I had another reason why I haven't streamed lately is because I've had a really bad time with my back, what with the summer weather change from spring to summer. The past 3 days have been really bad. I mean really bad. I would be up until 6:30 in the morning. No, I take it back. From 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. And it was just like, ooh, I was really, really bad. I'm a little better today. So hopefully I don't have a bad night tonight. Yeah, it's just been really bad, you know. Especially when we go from those weather changes from, you know, really cool or cold to really warm or hot.
Perhaps you should leave that to the engineering crew.
It's just really difficult, for lack of a better term or usage. That's another reason why I haven't finished this guitar. I mean, the last time I worked on this guitar was on the, on the 8th of July, and this is what, the 18th. So it's like, ooh. But at any rate, I'm going to very gently pull this pickup out and polish the
Your actions could result in an energy discharge which would be harmful to the crew.
Pickup bezel, which happens to be metal, which I'm kind of very shocked at, but it's metal chrome. And we'll polish that up, and I have the pickup set down below the edge, so that way we don't get polish on the freshly satin finished pickup top that I did previously.
Keep on trying to disable the tags. Let me know when you're ready. Understood.
I'll attempt to
So I'm going to go very carefully as not to get any polish on any
Keep me informed.
part of the satin finish that I just did or did previously. Otherwise, it will polish or make a light spot in where I just satin finished or satin finished from the 8th.
My team has been observing you and conducting tests.
There we go. It's all polished. It's nice looking, ready to go. Yeah.
People to suffer, but sometimes it's a necessary part of my work.
Yeah.
What kind of work is that? Medical research.
So I'm gonna
We're scientists.
push the wire back in.
From where I stand, you're a hostile invasion force. I want to know how long you've been here
And
exactly
very
what
kindly
you do
put the
with
pickup
us.
back in.
I can't answer those questions. It's a breach of protocol for me to be speaking to you at all. How convenient.
And screw it back in.
Never have to face you.
And then we will do the satin finish on the covers.
Techniques are as benign as we can
Put
make
the knobs back on.
them. For the last few days, certainly hasn't felt the
And then I think we will be at a point where we can put the... I gotta put the tremolo back in. And then put the back covers on. And then we can put the new strings on. So there is that.
Your perspective will change if your people were the ones to live longer and healthier lives as a result. Don't forget, we've been observing you, Captain. I know the most important thing to you is the welfare of your crew. You'd even kill to protect them.
Okay.
Of course you would. You take care of your own, just as we do. We're really more similar than you care to admit. That's where you're wrong.
We're doing pretty good.
What you're doing is a
No
self-defense.
problems, issues, or
It's the
glitches.
exploitation of another species to
far.
their own benefit. My people decided a long time ago that that was unacceptable.
And
Even in the name
we're
of
doing pretty good.
scientific progress. You're a remarkably strong-willed individual. I've been very impressed by your self-control over the past several weeks. We've been increasing your dopamine levels, stimulating various aggressive impulses to test your behavioral restraints.
Okay.
There's been a great difference of opinion about how much more
Really?
you can bear.
Kind of dumbfounded. Well, not dumbfounded, but surprised that the pickup bezel on this is actually metal.
I hoped you might be more cooperative once you realized the importance of our work.
Kind of,
Rats are fighting back.
I don't know, interesting, for lack of a better
Monitoring your attempts.
term.
You won't succeed. We may find that you've underestimated
Pick up
us.
back up a little tiny bit.
We will be continuing our research. If you make no further attempts to interfere, I assure you that the guitar
That looks pretty darn good. I mean, that, wow.
some deformities.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks awesome. Anybody buying this guitar is gonna look at it and go, "Wow, that looks pretty good, dude."
And its subjects will be terminated.
They're gonna go, "Yeah, dude, that looks really, really good." Okay, so I'm gonna take the tremolo out of the vise. Ugh. And very gently place it back into the cavity.
You gotta change sizes to match your flow. Only hand-packed pearl makes 5. So if it hurts to remove, go down a size.
Match it up with the holes as best as possible. And then put the screws back in one at a time.
Show them you're ready to be your own boss. That's the beauty of your
And
style.
then go from there.
Whitening. Remove stains, whitens in between teeth, and protects from future stains. Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Stand with these people is real. Now,
You don't want to You don't want to crank down on these screws. First run out, because these are tremolo, Fender style tremolo screws, and there's 6 of them, 1 per string, if you will. And I like mine a little more loose than not loose, just a little bit. So that way you have a nice free flow of tremolo, back and forth, and it's not like you're going, you're not labored to work the tremolo. So there is that aspect of it. And I pretty much know how to put a factory setting on the 6 tremolo screws. That way they're all equal and non-restrictive, and I look at them. I usually do about 3, and then assess the 3 and make sure they're at or very close to factory setting. And then when I get done, I will reassess them. And I'm usually pretty darn close, if not exact, within about 70 to 90%, 100% of the time when I do these, because I've done them so many times over the years.
I've encountered similar difficulties in my efforts to modify the internal sensors. They appear to have gained access to our key systems.
They can't be everywhere all the time. We have got to find.
Okay, 1 left.
Better find one soon. Patients with increasingly severe symptoms.
We have the ability to make them visible. If we could modify enough sensors, we could resist them.
They are still capable of manipulating our DNA. A direct conflict would be inadvisable.
bridge to doctor. Medical emergency.
Okay, now I will give a initial. Okay, this one's a little higher, so I'm going to go a 1/4 turn on this one.
Blood pressure is 360 over 125.
How is that possible?
And then look at them, reassess them. And then I'll do my final adjustment once I get the springs on and, all that good stuff. So it's by no means done yet. We're at almost 2 hours, so making pretty good time doing this guitar. I mean, it literally feels like I've been working on this for like 3 hours right now. This is like, whoa. So I'm going to put this, excuse me, I'm going to put the springs back. And, yeah, I'm going to put the springs back. And then we have 3 springs. And, that's what we have to deal with. Make sure the ground wire's out of the way. We'll do the last spring. A little bit more. Whoops. Whoops. Come on. Whoops. One more time. There we go. And then what I will do is I will take my little hobby hammer, if you will, and make sure the ends are in all the way. This one's a little higher than I want. This one's good. Just very light tap. Make sure each one is good. I need to go get the power supply for my laptop because my laptop is telling me I'm out of power and I need power. I accidentally forgot to plug in the AC adapter, so I will go grab that really quick so we don't lose this transmission. And we'll be right back.
I can kill you and your crew in an instant.
Without us, he won't be able to prevent this ship from being torn apart by the pulsars. Even with my crew working together, I'd say the odds of us getting through this are what? 1 in 10?
1 in 20, at best, Captain.
I'm willing to take that chance. Are you?
Our hull temperature is 9,000 degrees.
The hull's beginning to buckle.
Oh, okay. So I got my AC adapter. Here's my AC adapter. I just plugged it in. Now we're not gonna die. Now we're good. Okay. Ooh, merciful. Merciful Minerva. I need to adjust my memory, my computer, because now it's like it's 69%. So I will do that right quick. And I'll probably have to do it 2 or 3 more times because I need to. Okay, next. These are good. So back cover. And the back cover is a little kind of dirty, grungy. So I will do a satin finish on the back cover. And let's see, can you see me do this? Yeah, you can see me do this. I'll put a satin finish on this. I can bear a little more pressure down because... Okay, there we go. Inspect it, flip it over, do the other side. Okay. The other side. Sorry for the noise. I apologize for that. Take the rag, wipe it off, and inspect, and decide if that satin finish is good enough. There's one a little more spot I could do a little better. I'm going to do that. Oh yeah, much better. There we go, all done. Now we have a perfectly satin finished
I switched shifts with Ensign Wildland, which means tomorrow
tremolo cover. Tremolo cavity cover, if you will. And I will put that back, being very careful not to touch it with my fingerprints.
you might want to let it breathe first.
You've got to like that breed.
Engineering to Lieutenant Torres.
Torres here?
We're having a problem with the plasma manifold. I thought you'd want to take
Now,
I don't. Lock it
I'm
down
missing
for now. Deal with it in the morning.
about 6 screws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 6 in the back cover, and then I'm going to have to, in my recent purchases of guitar parts, get out 1, 2, 3, 4 new screws to accommodate
This is really delicious.
screwing down the electronics cover.
Too good for me. Ignore it.
That one's loose. I'm going to have to put a
I'll get rid of that.
toothpick in that one because that one's loose and I can't tighten it anymore. It just spins.
Harry, I'm not home. I just wanted to return this. Thanks. Smells good. That's it. No more interruption.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one back out because it's not very tight. Take my toothpick,
I've been picking a bath for the captain.
insert it, break it off, or break off a piece.
Thinking maybe she'll
I'm gonna have to cut it off because it didn't quite break the way I wanted it to. And break off a little piece,
Do you think we really were?
and then reinsert it.
Just been messing around with our hormones just to see what would happen.
Oh gosh, what did I do with the screw? Oh gosh, oh no, it's right here. Okay. And take the screw. Now we have a fresh.
What made you realize that you loved me all of a sudden?
Oh, now it's nice and tight. Now that we did our quote-unquote toothpick fix.
Alien experiment.
You never know.
Now we'll tighten these and match them.
I guess we should just call it off then.
I think so.
Thank God we found out in time.
Thank God.
Oh man. Ooh. Whoa. I think they're gonna.
How about you?
I think they're gonna bone down. They're gonna bone down because that's who they are. They're gonna bone down. Simple as that. Okay. Oh, my back is hurting me. Okay, now I need to find the package that has my screws. So I will do that. And I will add 3 new screws to this. Because that's what I do. I'm gonna add 3 new screws because that's what I do. I'm gonna put this back because I don't need this out right now. And then check more screws. Nope, I know what those are. Check more screws. Nope, I know what this is. It's a truss rod. That's a Brazilian rosewood truss rod cover. So that I don't really need right now, if you will. That's my groover. Really need to put these parts away. Really. Okay. Nope. Oh dear. Where's my where is my screws? I don't know, it's like 100 count screws. Where are my screws? Where are my screws? Oh gosh. Oh my. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh my. Oh my. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh my. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh my. Oh gosh. Where's my? Oh boy. Okay. I do not know. I'm gonna take the. I'm gonna take the. Oh. Take the. And the. This off. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna take this off. My vice. My vice. I'm sorry. Lost my train of thought for a split second there. I'm gonna take my vice off and move it. And I need to find my screws that I purchased. It's like where are my screws I purchased? Oh my. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at my other pile over here and try and differentiate my screws. Oh, these are truss rod covers. Oh, that's my string winder that I have yet to use. This might be it. This might be it. Nope, that's my 50. Nope, that's my 50. Oh, here's the screws. There's my screws. I need to order more of these screws because, my goodness, I go through so many of these screws a year. I go through, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. I go through probably, realistically, 80 to 120 of these screws a year on guitars that happen to be missing. These Fender pick guard tapered screws. Ooh, and I have 3 different ones. I have gold tone, black, and I have natural finish. 150 of these little suckers. So I'm gonna satin finish the electronics cover, and then I'm gonna go ahead and reattach it, and we will go from there. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna re-satin finish the electronics cover. We are at an hour, well, we're at 2 hours and 8 minutes. Pretty good. I mean, wow. I mean, all the work I've done to it tonight, it feels like 3 hours. Oh my. So I'm making pretty good time, doing pretty good time, so I'm not worried about it. I'll finish tonight. I'm pretty sure I'll finish tonight. Next step after this is to put the strings on, really. Yeah, I mean, step after that is put the strings on. So I'm pretty happy and pretty confident. I will finish this tonight. Take my rag, wipe off the dust. Ooh, that looks almost factory. Almost factory. You have to pick it up by the edges, because if you pick it up like this, you know, you'll put your fingerprints on it and the oils from sweat and wetness and dampness from your fingers. Let me stand up and really show you this guy. Guys, my satin finish working. And I'll try and show the striations of the satin finishing. It's pretty darn good. Now, I don't necessarily call this a straight satin quote-unquote satin finish. I call it a brushed satin finish because it has that brushed look, that brushed aluminum look, if you will. So there you go. You get an idea of what it looks like. So I'm gonna order another package of these because these were only like $4, and they're genuine Fender. And there's 150. I'm gonna order like 3 more of these packages. And again, you get the natural finish, you get the gold tone, and then the black. So that's a pretty good deal. I'm probably gonna get back on Amazon tonight and order another 2 to 3 of those because I go through so many in a year, and you know it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. You know, better to have it, not need it, need it, not have it. So here we go. Whoops! Oh no! Come on! Come on! I usually don't do that. I'm usually pretty good at not doing that. So I need three more. So 1, 2, 3. Oops. Close this little Ziploc. Ugh, these Chinese Ziploc bags just are horrible. If you try and reseal them. Oh gosh. Goodness. I can't reseal this for nothing. If you're real careful, you can feel it reseals. Oh, there it goes. I'm gonna take them out and I'm gonna put them in my my little organizer here. It's like a fishing tackle box, and it's got all the little drawers and little graduations in it. And I'm gonna dump these into it because it's just, I don't want to have to get into a bag every time, you know? It's just like, ugh. So very carefully put them in one at a time so I don't strip them out or get my fingerprints on anything or, you know, make a mistake. There we go.
Come look at this. The pigmentation is far more colorful than I would have suspected.
What are we looking at?
Oh, Zindi, epithelial cells harvested from the corpse they found inside the crash.
There we go. We're doing pretty good so far. Making good time. And I kind of figure I'm going to have this guitar done in another half hour. Barring any problems, issues, or glitches. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to touch paint up with flat black paint, the NYX, and that'll dry overnight, and then I will take pictures of this guitar tomorrow and right back up for sale.
I believe the commander will be a fine candidate for Vulcan pressure.
I doubt the commander would have the patience to sit in one place long enough to get through the first posture.
I'm certain with your delicate guidance.
Delicate is not a word I associate with Mr. Tucker.
Okay. Wow, that looks wow, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I gotta take my after picture, even though I haven't filled in the NYX yet. But I'm gonna take my after picture.
Assuming that you'd agree to my request, I suggested all of this to Commander Tucker earlier today.
And look at it before.
Less than enthusiastic.
After. Holy mackerel. Holy mackerel, Andy. Wow. That just looks, wow. That looks amazing. That looks stellar. I mean, look at that. Look at the after. It just looks almost brand new and almost factory. And Just bar none. Bar none, it looks, yeah. Okay, I'm going to very carefully flip it over. I think I need to wash my hands. My hands feel a little dirty, if you will. So I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Next process. Next process is put the knobs back and put the guitar strings on. And then once I've tuned it and intonated it and set the string height and pickup height and all that, then I will take the touch-up paint, the flat black touch-up paint, and do all the little nicks around it. And it'll be done. And it'll be ready for pictures tomorrow and go right back out for sale tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm gonna wash my hands real quick, just because I feel I need to. So I'll be right back.
I'm Jonathan Archer. This is Lieutenant Reed.
I've been told you might be able to make it worth my while if I were to arrange a certain introduction.
Depends what you mean by worth your while.
I don't know. I've always had a fondness for platinum, specifically in its liquefied state.
I'm afraid we don't carry precious metals anymore.
Pity.
I'm sure there's something else we could offer you.
I don't think it happens with a lot of people in rock mine workers, Cindy or otherwise.
What about the antimatter relays? Their linings aren't coated with a platinum cobalt alloy. A trip could probably strip them down and separate the metals.
How much platinum are we talking about?
Well, I'm a reasonable man. I'm sure you could probably say half a liter.
I need to see this man, scan him, confirm that he's Zindi.
That won't be necessary.
Oh, merciful. My back is really starting to kind of kick in. But I'm going to, I'm going to pull through. So, okay. We'll pull through, pull through, pull through, pull through, pull through. Okay, let's polish the, whoops. Let's polish the tops of the knobs. I can't polish the sides because they're knurled. So there is that. I can't polish the sides, so I will polish the tops. Make sure they are turned up all the way. And push, whoops, I want to make sure they're in the right, the right, I want to make sure they're in the right, because they're splined. And you want to make sure you're not in between a spline, because then it could go on crooked and all that stuff. So you just kind of want to double check.
It doesn't have to be this hard. Just because you lost your car insurance.
Turn it on. This is coil tap, so this pot. So you want to be just aware of that and make a little more, you know, make sure a little bit. Ooh. See how it's coil tap? Oh my gosh. Put a little bit more oomph onto that. Make sure it's smooth. Make sure it's not doing this when you turn the knob. You want it straight. Make sure your coil tap works. Next. Next is, let's see. Short cover, tree, back cover. Excuse me. Back covers. Oh my. I'm gonna polish the back of the neck, back of the headstock, and tuners. And then we will be done polishing, and then I can put the new strings on, tune it, put a general tune on it, intonate it, put a final tune on it, and then this sucker will be officially done. So I want to be very careful not to put any polish on where I satin finished, because you don't want to do that. Plain, pure, and simple. You don't want to do that. Just, plain, pure, and simple. You don't want to do that.
Non-weight bearing range of motion for those who have not been using their joints.
Peavey was named a top 10 gift by Time Magazine and has been featured all over the world with hundreds of amazing reviews. Peavey has developed
Back of the neck is polished and done.
that fits anywhere.
Now
While it works your abs and
Now I need to polish the back of the tuners.
that's more than half your body's muscle grooves. Using Peavey is proven to expend nearly 85% more energy than sitting.
Do I see an issue?
Assist your rehab or
No.
physical therapy and keeps you moving for better health.
No, I guess
You can
not.
monitor your progress. See your
Okay.
strides,
Well,
calories
alright.
burned,
Okay.
and
Alright.
duration of use, or
Put these all
further
straight,
Your
and then
Peavey
polish them.
is completely assembled.
And those are done.
You're just starting on your quest to suffer from joint
then-
pain, mobility issues, or just want to burn
Then yeah.
The nice thing about the QB is when I get up in the morning, I'm really stiff between my neck,
I will
my
move the
knee,
camera
my
view so you guys can
It's
kind
great
of
to
see me
just have
polish a little
coffee,
bit.
read a book and sit down and stay in motion and get the blood flowing, and then I feel great.
Sorry about the camera angle. I do apologize for that. I still have to work on the the actual streaming computer in the corner of my room here.
and for ordering today, you'll also get this
I have just been unable to kind of access it, if you will. Just kind of because I've been kind of reorganizing the guitar room and the piano room, which is another room in the house here, and just kind of been, kind of doing that, if you will. So it's like, I'm trying to do my best to access that streaming computer in the corner, which is a very high-end Alienware Tri-SLI computer. And it's going to give ultra, I can stream in 4K on that. With this HP Star Wars laptop, I can stream in about 720 p, but I cannot stream in 4K because there's just not enough. It's just a laptop. There's not enough computing power to take streaming at 4K. So there is that. Not that, come on, let's face it. How many people realistically need to stream in 4K? It's just like, a lot of people can't even view a stream if it's streaming in more than 1080. So why stream in 4K? For a while, I streamed in 4K, and then people would tell me, I can't watch your stream. I can't watch your stream because it's so high quality it buffers every freaking 8, 10, 12 seconds. So it's like, so I was like, oh, okay. So I went back to streaming at 480, thinking, well, if somebody's on mobile, blah blah blah, etc., they can now be able to, see my stream. You don't need to see it. You don't need to see it in 4K or 1080. You don't need to. It's not a necessity. It's just, it's just guitar work. When I did my live stream from Disneyland, the Galaxy's Edge Star Wars, I streamed that in 4K. And even then, people were like, I can't watch it, man, it's buffering. That's when it was live. And I told them, well, you'll have to wait till the stream is over and then start watching it from scratch once YouTube has processed video, and then re-watch it, because if you can't watch it at 4K live, you'll just have to wait because your internet connection just simply won't let you have that much bandwidth, whether you're on a cell phone or you're on home internet or whatever, And people knew and understood and realized that. It wasn't a big deal when it was all said and done. So, okay, those are all polished. I'm going to move the camera view, and I really kind of want to start to get this guitar done because I'm getting really tired. I just want to get it done. Get it done, get it done, get it done. It's been sitting here since July 8th. And I just really want to get this done because I've got like 52 guitar projects that I need to start and or get done. And I really want to get them done before we start to hit the end of summer and then fall. Because then I've got my fall projects, and I got my fall, and then pretty soon I am so far behind that I will, if I worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, I would not be able to catch up. And, I want this to be fun, not just, work. Because if this starts to become work and not fun, then it really starts to lose its appeal, even if it's something I love. And not only make a living at, then it's just like, then it's something I have to do, and then I'm so far behind, and so there is that. But we're making pretty good time. I do need to sit down for a minute. My back is starting to kick in moderately well. We're at 12:24 p.m. and we're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. I really want to finish this guitar. Okay. Back covers are on. Satining finish is done. Neck is done. Headstock is done. Knobs are done. Tremolo's done. I think I'm going to take a quick picture of the tremolo with strings off of it, just for the sake of doing it. You know me, guys, it's better to have a picture of something. It's better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it. So I'm going to take a quick pic, because I can delete it just as easily as I take it. So better to have it, not need it, not have it. Okay, anyway. Let me think a minute and double check. Covers. Jack is good. Okay, I think I'm ready to put the strings on. I know I'm ready to put the strings on. We'll grab them. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. My. Oh. Okay. So here's the brand new Ernie ball, super slinkies. We're gonna put on it. And you know what? I could put regular slinkies, 10s on it, but you know what? It's kind of a crapshoot because the person that's gonna come and look at this guitar, he might like 10s, he might like 9s, he might like 11s, he might like 12s, he might like. So, you know, it's just one of those things. But generally speaking, most, because this is a shredder guitar when it's all said and done. So most guys or gals are gonna like 9s or 10s on it. Out of 9s or 10s, they're gonna like 9s more than 10s. So that's why I'm going to put 9s on it. That's why I'm going to put 9s on it, because more likely than not, whoever buys this guitar is going to want 9s on it. Primarily, I have found people who want 10s or 11s or higher are going to want those on Les Pauls, hollow bodies, semi-hollow bodies, full-size hollow bodies, that type of guitar. So there is that. Oh gosh, I don't have my pair of scissors over here, so I'm going to have to take these into the next room, cut these open, and then we will string this sucker back up and get it going. I want to get it done. I want to get it done.
Including smokers whose risk factor is 50 times that of non-smokers. In many cases, companies knew the risks of asbestos exposure and that it was significantly more dangerous for smokers, but just didn't care. As a result, over $20 billion in trusts have been set aside for individuals who've been affected by asbestos. If you've been diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma, call the number on your screen now to determine if and when you were exposed to asbestos and who should compensate you. Call for a free case review.
All across America, people are falling in love with the Hurricane.
I love my Hurricane. I wouldn't go a day without it.
I love how secure I feel with my Hurricane. I love my Hurricane. It lets me go everywhere.
The Hurricane is the #1 selling cane from coast to coast, and it's available with a money-back guarantee. Americans everywhere really love that too.
I love my Hurricane.
They love how it helps them walk around the surface.
Alright, here we go. Freshly opened package of brand new strings. And I always kind of do this. I go, oh, I love the smell of a brand new, freshly opened package of strings. Ah, I love it. I love it. Love it. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that I love it. I just really wanted to make sure that you knew I loved it. Okay, anyway, alright, okay. We will put these on forthwith because I want to get this done before the end of the hour, and the end of the hour is about 30 minutes from now, so I'm going to do this, not rapidly, but I'm going to do this fairly swiftly, because I don't want this to turn into a part 3, so I don't want this to turn into a part 3, so there is that. Because, hey, I don't want this to turn into a part 3. So, okay, make sure the string is under the new string tree and under the nut, which we have already, last time we grooved and dry lubed the nut. it's all good. So there's that. There's that. Make sure your string is in your saddle groove. If you will. Make sure your wraps on your tuner posts are one right under another, like this, and not, birds nesting all over the place. You don't want that, because then you will have tuning issues, among other things. .36 gauge should be next, I do believe. Well, 32, I'm sorry. Oops, did I skip one by accident? Oh, no, that's right. These are super, not regular. I'm sorry. These are regular, not... These are super, not regular. Okay, alright, okay. Turn this sucker over. Make sure I'm getting it in the tremolo string hole, if you will. Oh, come on now. Don't mess with me now. Come on. There we go. And there we go. The tuner moves a little bit. And go through the eye of the needle, so to speak. And we go under the string tree. Sometimes you have to go around and under it, or under and around it, I should say, like I just had to do. At any rate, whoops. No. Here we go. Oh, almost. No, it went through. It was just stuck a little tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay, alright, okay. Make sure it's in the string groove. Make my measurement. And...
Some foods get stuck, ruining your meal, or your foods fall through the grate and never make it to your plate. That's a big hot mess.
Okay. Make sure the saddle, the string is in its saddle. Okay. 32. The next one, I believe, is 24, because these are super snaky. So therefore, this is going to be a 22. And then we're looking at these diamond grill mats. I actually have one of those, but it's not the diamond grill mat. It's the copper one, and it's actually really good. I actually highly recommend that. It works really well on barbecues and grills. It works really well, especially those nasty, gnarly barbecue grills when you go to a park or something and they're all nasty and gnarly and nasty and gnarly and gnarly and nasty. You know the ones I mean? You can take that with you and lay that across and boom. They're pretty good. I highly recommend those. Mine has lasted for, oh gosh, I've used mine quite a bit, and mine's lasted over a year and a half. Year and a half? Yeah. It's really, really good. It works really well. I'm quite happy with it. Quite happy with it. I can't rave enough about it, if you will. String is in its groove. We're moving along. We're doing number 3. We're doing pretty good. We're making, well, I would have liked to have been done by now, but we're doing pretty good on time considering. So I'm not gonna hiff and haw too much about the time frame. Hiff and haw too much about the time frame. Next string is let's see, it's gonna be what, 16? Whoops, because these are super slinkies, so they're gonna be 16. Let's double check. Yeah, they're gonna be 16. 16. It's the first unwound string, if you will. First unwound string. Unwound, so we will unwrap it from its package and we will put that sucker right the heck through. And whoa. Ooh, went right through. Went right through, no problems, issues, or glitches. Okay. Make sure it's in the saddle. Make my measurement. Bend it down. Start winding. I'm gonna start winding because I'm pretty darn tired. I would like to get this done sooner rather than later because this project has been sitting here since the 8th of July and I just really want to get it done and out and away and for sale because I got this guitar from a friend of mine and I really want to get it done. Really want to get it done because I have more time and money invested into it than I kind of wanted to. I mean, I'm still going to make a little tiny bit of money on it. I'm by no means going to get rich off of it, that's for sure. Just because it is what it is, and that's what it is. But at any rate, I need to put some light on this because I can't really quite see. Okay, now I can sort of semi. Put the 16 gauge package away, and then we are going to be at, oh gosh, what, 11? Yeah, 11. Oh, because my back is really killing me. Killing me. I really want to get this done. I can intonate this pretty fast and set the string height pretty fast. Yeah, I can get this guitar done in the next 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure. If it goes a few minutes over that, I'm fine with that. Because I really want to get this done. It's been sitting here much too long. But I had some other issues come up, and family issues come up, and this issue come up, and another issue come up, and this and that come up, and come up, and come up, and it was just like, every time I wanted to do this guitar, something came up, and it was just like, oh gosh, what next? What next? Because I really wanted to get this guitar done. Whoops. Come on. Concentrate. Groove. It's in the saddle groove. I might take my measurement. Boom. Boombastic. Klasic Boombastic, as a friend of mine on YouTube says. He says Klasic Boombastic. He's a friend of mine on YouTube. He's another YouTuber. He says Klasic Boombastic every time we see each other in chat. Double check, make sure everything looks good. And I overtune these strings. You can hear the tunage go up. And I overtune them to do what's called stretch the strings. And that will help keep these strings more in tune and intonation. And yeah. So now we're looking for the 9. Oh, there it is. Thought it was not missing, but the 9 was a little elusive just now. There's the 9. Now sometimes some people will say, well, I like super slinkies, but I don't want them a 9, so I will swap out the 9 for a 10 or an 11 if somebody likes. So they get a custom gauge setup. On occasion, somebody will request that. Not too many times, maybe less than half a dozen times a year. And they will pre-tell me, because I will ask them beforehand, what do you want on there? And they'll say, yeah, I like this, but can you swap this string out for that? And I'll be like, yeah, no problem. No problem. It's not a big deal. I will very happily swap out whatever single gauge string you want. Not a big whoop. Not a big deal. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oop, there it goes. I was having a little bit of issue getting it through. I was like, oh, I finally got it. Okay, so we get the last string, which is a 9. And we will loop it through and under the wonderfully looking brand new string tree.
anyone been diagnosed with any type of lung cancer in the past
Wonderful
few
looking
years,
new string
even
tray.
if you realize your cancer may be a result
Excuse me.
of exposure to asbestos, and you may be entitled
Make
to
my
significant
mark.
compensation. Who do you call for the legal
Make my
assistance you need?
mark.
You call the Lung Cancer Law Center, and they will get you
Start this sucker going.
millions of dollars in compensation
Start
for
this sucker
victims
going.
diagnosed with mesothelioma and lung cancer, including smokers whose risk factor is 50 times that of non-smokers. In fact, many of these companies knew the risk of asbestos exposure and that it was significantly more dangerous for smokers, but just didn't care. The attorneys with the Lung Cancer Law Center have decades of experience and are here to determine if and when you were exposed to asbestos and who can compensate you. If you've been diagnosed with lung cancer, call the Lung Cancer Law Center at SWMW Law. You don't pay any
Come on, almost done. Don't mess with me now, please. Where? Oh, my back is hurting, folks. Okay, pick it up, check the tremolo action. Now I'm gonna cut off the ends of the strings. I really want to get this done. I'm tired. This guitar has been sitting on the bench here since the 8th of January, or 8th of January, 8th of July, I'm sorry. 8th of July. And I am really quite wanting to get this guitar done. I just want it done. Because I want to get it done. I have many other projects to do. And this guitar was kind of holding up my production line, if you will, for lack of a better description, because I had to wait for the string retainer and the truss rod covers. And it was just like, I'm waiting for these parts, I'm waiting for the parts, I'm waiting, hurry up and wait. You know, I was playing the old hurry up and wait game with waiting for parts, and I was just like, oh, this $200 guitar is holding me up. And you guys know I love working on a $100 guitar, $200 guitar. I like doing that, but when it is holding me up from 30, 40, 50 other projects, I want to enjoy my work while I'm doing it, but I will also want to get it done. I do want to get it done because, you know, this is how I earn my living, so one of the ways I earn my living, I should say. So I want to get it done. I want to move on. But it's a cool piece. I've enjoyed working on it, so it's not that aspect of it. Okay, enough of that. Enough of jibba-jabba. Enough of the jibba-jabba. Let's choose the Allen wrench for the string height. There it is. I'm going to kind of give it an initial height adjustment now, because I know basically where it needs to be, plus or minus. So I'm going to kind of give it a pre-adjustment, if you will. And then I'll put a basic tune on it. And then we'll check the intonation real quick. No, I'm sorry. We'll go back to the string height real quick. And then do the intonation last. And then put a final tune on it. And then we'll be done with this guitar. Then I will take a full spread of pictures of it tomorrow and stick it on my website, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc., etc. So we've got 10 minutes to do this. If it goes over a few minutes, I'm fine with that. But I really am tired and I want to get this done. So, that being said, let's plug this in. Make sure we've got tone, and volume, and tonnage, and then we can start the setup on this officially, if you will. Okay, alright. Turn my amp on, get my pick, make sure the tone and volume are up all the way. And don't forget, I've over-tuned things, so I'm stretching the strings, so I need to detune it. Or in some cases, there we go. Now, since this is a floating bridge, it's going to go like this when I tune it, so it's going to take a little more effort to get it into tune. A little bit more effort. Oops. Now it's in kind of a general tune. Like I just said, general tune, just very general tune. So don't hop on me for not being perfect right away, because I still have to set the string height and the intonation. So there is that. So don't expect perfection the very first time. closer. It's all good, we're getting there. Oh, we're getting there. Oh. My back is really kicking in. We're at 3 hours. We're at about a half an hour more than I wanted to put into this guitar, but we're almost there. We're 95% there, so there is that. String height now that we kind of got it in a general tune. And yeah, there's going to be some people that are going to put a hate comment in my section and go like, it's not in tune. I said general tune. General. We're part of general, don't you understand? General tune. It's in a general tune. Just ever so slightly above buzz point, because this is going to be a shredder guitar, so good. Next. That was a little low, so we're gonna raise it up just a hair, and we're gonna be almost done with this sucker. Tiny bit more, about another 1/8 of a turn, or a 1/16 of a turn. Nope, tiny bit more. Another 1/8 of a turn. I always try and go as equal. Nope, a little bit more. Wow, okay. Alright. Always try and go, you want to go equal on the saddles. You don't want one of the saddles. You don't want the saddle. I've seen people brought me saddles that were just cocked to one side, and it's like they're adjusting one side. You want to adjust them both equally. A little tiny bit more, about a 1/16 of a turn more on this one. And the 1/16 of a turn. See how it's good now? this one, I think, could go a little lower, about an eighth of a turn.
How well did you know her?
Pretty well.
You mentioned to one of the officers something about her being down with it.
I'm gonna go another 16th of a turn.
She worked all the time. Sometimes she wouldn't come home until Monday, I swear.
Good. I think that's good enough. Good. I'm already gonna adjust that one lower. I can already tell it's a little bit too high. A little bit more. Another quarter turn. Good. Bitchin'. Okay, now I'll put it back into a general tune, then I'll do the intonation. Intonation. Whoa. Hey, come on now. Getting closer, folks. 3 hours, 9 minutes. Okay, now action is set. The tremolo level is level. Level. Coordinates to the body. Now we would check intonation. Intonation. Almost. We're pretty good.
The DOA supervisor at Child Services is on the way.
Perfect. Almost perfect. And that one a little tiny bit lower. No, lower. Tiny bit lower. Perfect. That one's perfect. Test that one again. Perfect, actually. perfect, actually. Perfect. Perfect. I'm actually pretty darn good at putting intonation settings back to factory setting visually, just by looking at it. I've always been pretty darn accurate and astute at doing that. So, not to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna toot my own horn when it comes to that. Ooh, why is it off? Oh, I see. Tremolo arm back on, rather. Ooh, and then I'm going to do the little spots that it needs. Okay, that's good. It's in tune, intonation, string height. What else? Pickup height. We'll check that right now. Then I need to put the spot. No, not spot check. Spot paint. The nicks. So I will do that. Right now we will set the pickup height a little bit higher. A little bit higher. This guitar will be ready. Put up for sale on the morrow. On the morrow. On the morrow. Oh, man. I put a lot of work into this little sucker. But that's okay. It was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable project, too. It wasn't all doom and gloom or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. So I do need to get a little piece of paper towel so I can dab the nicks with the flat black paint. I'll do that. Back. Hold on. So I can finally end this video, and I'm extremely tired. Oh, and extremely tired. And then I can enjoy my TV show, movie, and call it a night, and then do it all again tomorrow. Yes, do it all again tomorrow, because that's life. That is life. Really. That is life as we know it.
Peavey is an excellent way to start providing non-weight-bearing range of motion for those who have not been using their
Come on. Give me my paint. Okay, there we go. Now, very lightly, just kind of, you don't go, you don't paint it on, you just dab. And you dab the, very lightly dab the spots. You're just trying to lighten them up. You're not, again, this isn't a $1,000 guitar, so I'm not trying to make this look like it's ready for freaking Eddie Van Halen to play or anything like that. I'm just trying to lighten up the look. And that's it, I'm not trying to make it something that it's not. A lot of people kind of get on me for this, and why are you touching up the paint? Why are you trying to... It's like, well, just calm down. And all I'm doing is just trying to make this look a little better. That's it. I'm not trying to pass off anything or anything. I'm just, calm down. How some people can be, and they're just like... Some people go ape freaking shit that you're trying to make it look like something that it's not. And it's like, no. I understand and realize this is not, this is not, not trying to, just calm down. Calm down, man. I'm not trying to make this look like it's freaking ready for a fucking Van Halen concert. It's one of those things. Just calm down. But you know how some internet trolls can be. They want to pick and pick and pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. Pick and pick and pick and pick and pick and pick and pick at something until you break. And I've actually had people say that they were going to report me to YouTube for doing this because I'm trying to fake something or scam something. It's like I'm doing it on camera. So how am I, for corn's sake, how am I trying to fake something? How am I trying to, come on. Come on. Some people are just like, ugh. For corn's sake. Some people want to make a mountain out of a molehill, and it's just like, it's not that bad. Come on. I'm just touching up but I've actually had people put comments on other guitars like, I'm going to report you for trying to scam people because you're trying to... It's like, how so? I'm showing it on camera. So what's the scam? If I'm showing it on camera, what's the scam? I don't know. But it's a scam. Okay, good luck with that. You do that. Good luck with that. But anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. Because their hate is... Placate the hate. Okay. Make sure it's still in tune. Oh yeah, definitely. Still in tune, still in tone, still good. Yeah. This sucker is ready to go. Now you're probably seeing the touch-ups that I'm doing look a little bit glossy. This is flat paint, so when it dries, it'll be flat. So don't worry about that. It was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool piece, pretty cool guitar. I enjoyed working on it. I put a little bit more time and a little bit more work than I wanted to do into this, but I'm happy with it. And we're 18 minutes over that I wanted to work on this guitar. Well, 40 minutes. But the action height is perfect. String height is perfect. It's perfectly intonated, tuned. It's ready to go. Pictures tomorrow on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, my personal website, Instagram, everywhere tomorrow for sale for $180 to $200. Probably $200 because these are kind of semi-rare in that it's a Peavey Rockmaster. So it's kind of sort of rare in that. So I think somebody would be very happy to have this at $200, considering all the work you just saw me put into this guitar. And it was a basket case when I first got it, so it's like I put a lot of work, and it's got a custom tremolo, and it's ready to go. So there is that. So I'm going to end this video, and thank you very much for joining me. Tonight's show is brought to you by Guitar Center of Glendora. Go visit them. Really cool people. And again, this is a late 80s, early 90s Peavey Rockmaster Strat. Single pickup, coil tap. You just saw me go through the whole thing, 2 parts. It's a really cool piece. I enjoyed working on it. It took a while to get the parts for it, but I'm pretty happy the way it came out. So thank you very much for joining me, and we will see you next time, and happy guitaring.